Okay, so now we need to get our jumping animations working. So we're going to go back to our animations folder for our character, and we're going to go into the animation blueprint, and we're going to go into the state machine again, okay, because the jumping is another kind of state for the character. So we want our 3 different animations. So we've got jumping up, jumping down, and this falling idle one. Okay. So I'll put these in a kind of a loop because that's exactly what this is going to be. So it's going to go from walking to carrying out this jumping loop and then back to the beginning again. There's other ways of doing this. You could probably have this set up as its own kind of blend space, but this is the way that we're going to do it. It's probably the way I'd recommend doing it. So if we go from walking to jumping up, you can see what's different about this one is that we've got this new little icon, and that, as you can see, is called a transition rule. So what's going to cause it to go from this into jumping, basically, and the rules that are associated within that process. Okay, so I'm going to link them all up first, and then you'll get a rule for each one. Okay, and then back to the beginning again. And then we're going to need our variables. So obviously make sure we've got this isInAir variable, which we created earlier on. Okay, so if the first rule here, so going from walk to jumping up, double click that, takes you into another graph. All we need to do is get isInAir, so are we in air or not, and go to that. So the only rule is going to be if we're in the air, it's going to start doing that animation. So compile that. Don't worry so much if it's got a warning at the moment, because we've got other stuff we need to put in first before it will actually tick. So then you want to go on to the next rule here, and that was time remaining, jumping up, and then you want float less than or equal to, and just put in like a tiny value there, 0.1. I'll go to the result. Compile will still give you warnings. So if time remaining in that animation is less than or equal to 0.1, then you can enter the next transition, which will be moving into, so when it's running out of animation on that, it will move into the next animation. So go back. The next one is going to be, I think it's either going to be time remaining or idle. Yes, this one, if you go into this one, it says is in air, but it's going to be not in air, so we need boolean not. Okay, so if we're not in the air, we can do that. Compile, still got ourselves a warning. Still need to do the last one, which should be the same thing. So time remaining, jumping down, float less than or equal to 0.1. Okay, so if we compile that, there we go. Now we've got our tick. So what we're going to do is we're going to test this now. It is probably going to look a bit weird because there's some things we might need to do. So if we're walking along, we jump up, it works, but you can see there's some kind of flickering going on. But we can fix that in a minute. You can see what I mean by the animations. I mean, you know how his arms sort of flail out in the air like that when he's jumping. It's probably not ideal. Doesn't really suit the character that much. But because we're using the Mixamo animations, we kind of have to use what we're working with. Work with what we've got, should I say. But of course you could make your own animations and things like that, but we get how it works. Okay, so jumping works. We just need to fix that sort of jumpy bit in the animation. Just doing that is fairly straightforward. You just go into the transition rules, each of them, and we need the setting. Which isn't there. Where are you? Okay, so you don't go into it, you just click on it here. What we were looking for is this duration in the blend settings. So it's currently at 0.2. So these kind of just going to take some tweaking. I'm going to change it to 0.1. It's going to be minor tweaking as well. Let's compile and run it. Okay, I think that got rid of it. You see it's not jumping anymore. Okay, that's fine. So the transition between the animations is pretty smooth. Okay, cool. Happy with that. So what we've done so far, we've got walking, hold shift and we can run, and we can jump, and we've got the loop between the three animations sorted out. So even if we're jumping from a height, it will loop that animation until the character hits the ground. Nice. Okay. Yeah, next up what we want to do is make him do an attack. Okay, so obviously if you look at my animations at the moment, I didn't get one for attack. But if you go back to Mixamo and search in the animations for the mutant again, you'll see a couple of animations. The ones I'm going to get are, I think one is like a swiping attack and one's like a punch. Okay, so if you download those two animations, they'll be easy to find, and then we'll use those in the next bit.